My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. Kanye West supports President Trump. This is fantastic news. It's fantastic news for a number of reasons. Not because I support President Trump, not because I'm Trump 2020. After having been on the left, written well over 100 articles in the Huffington Post, The Hill, Salon, I was on MSNBC and CNN, explaining that Clinton loses to Trump. And if Democrats cheat for Clinton, they will lose to Trump. And then realizing that, hey, President Trump didn't destroy Libya. That's President Obama. There are slave auctions now in Libya. Yet suddenly, Charlottesville was Trump's fault, even though the police stood down and were told by someone to stand down, allowing mayhem and chaos. And then the bungled response, yes, initially by Trump in terms of a verbal response. Well, there's good people on both sides. He obviously didn't mean the neo-Nazi, racist, crazy white nationalists. Democrats know he didn't mean them. He meant just the conservatives who happened to be on the other side, whether they were protesting for free speech or whatever other issue they were there for. He meant those people. Whether you want to then indict those people or condemn those people, remember that Joy Reid now is experiencing her own controversy regarding anti-gay, homophobic blog posts that she blames hackers for writing, even though there's zero evidence. So she's almost certainly lying. But President Trump didn't defend any neo-Nazis or white nationalists. That is the caricature of Trump that Democrats deliberately and intentionally created to paint a vision of what they hate and then impart that upon Trump. He didn't, like I said, Trump could go 8 years, and he'll win in 2020. If he doesn't destroy an African nation like Obama did, he will have had a much better presidency no matter what happens. Already, the peace with North Korea is a very good thing. So, Kanye West, getting back to Kanye West, and I can go on, I'm for the steel tariffs. Steel tariffs are actually, listen to the steel CEOs. It's fascinating listening to the steel CEOs explain how the industry is not only strategic, but in terms of trade practices, countries around the world, including China, have been undercutting the United States without any type of logical or rational retaliation. Peaceful retaliation, I should say, peaceful. But Kanye West didn't become Kanye West without breaking groupthink. His music is fantastic, so I always enjoyed his music. There are people who really, really, really into his music. He is a brilliant individual. I say brilliant not because he is suddenly voting for Trump or suddenly pushed, I'll go to his tweets in a second, and then Trump's tweet thanking him. But he's brilliant because he takes a prevailing paradigm, whether it's in music or whether it's in politics or the atmosphere amongst society, and creates something out of a situation that was he creates. That's what I'm trying to say. He creates. So he creates some thought process. Whether it's his music or what he's doing now, even going on stage with Taylor Swift, bad thing to do. Kanye West wasn't happy with what he did, but it was still breaking a paradigm. It was still something. He's not just a showman. There's something to what he does that other artists just can't emulate. There's like this energy that comes from him. There are other artists like that. Like Prince had that. But it's not just a kind of in-your-face outward energy. I think Frank Sinatra also had that kind of energy also. For me, it's something that it spans beyond race or ethnicity. There's something going on there where you're breaking a mold where you can say, well, you know what? If you believe in God, God didn't make a whole lot of that type of person or that person. He broke the mold. Christopher Hitchens broke the mold. Kanye West breaks the mold. Prince definitely broke the mold. You can go George Orwell. There's how many George Orwells are there? How many people who, both left and right, can find either fault or reason to praise? I guess what I'm saying in my long-winded way is that what he's doing is very good because it's breaking a groupthink. It's breaking a paradigm of thought, and it's making people question why they hate Trump. There's not a Clinton derangement syndrome. There's actually a Trump derangement syndrome. The amount of vitriol and hate against Trump has nothing to do with what he has done. Whether you want to say, well, he's a Republican and look what he's doing with regulations, environmental regulations, yeah, and what Republican wouldn't do that? Look what he's doing with the wall, yeah, but Democrats voted for a fence, and Obama deported more people than anyone. Oh, but he didn't deport them. They didn't step foot into the country. They were actually just told to leave the border. Oh, well, that's so much more moral. Back into the desert. Back into where all the narcos and people who would, just rape and, the Mexican U.S.-Mexico border is not a safe place. If you see people coming in and Obama says, oh, by the way, you have to go back into the danger zone, into no man's land, into a place where you could then get raped or kidnapped without any money. Go back to where you came from. That's what Obama said. But he's the moral one. He's not the... If Obama went into that bougie Manhattan establishment where Milo Yiannopoulos was kicked out of, and I disagree with Milo Yiannopoulos, and I would love to debate him, just like I debated Richard Spencer. I debated Richard Spencer, exposed his ideology, in my view. Basically exposed his ideology that, he would, from what I understand, he insinuated and he alluded to the fact that in his imaginary country, if he were to actually create that country, it is feasible that he would engage, or his government would engage in genocide, or massive slaughter, or ethnic cleansing, if need be, to kick out people who weren't white. And people who agree with Spencer thought that I lost the debate. People who are opposed to his ideology and felt I did a great job felt that I won the debate. But that's what combating ideologies you disagree with, that's what that entails, actually combating them with your mind, perhaps also with your heart. But Milo Yiannopoulos, a guy I disagree with, but a Trump supporter, was yelled out of a very bougie, expensive Manhattan restaurant. Why? Oh, well, because they said Nazis not welcome, not some dumb phrase, and it was like the most hilarious. Like, you could just feel the wealth and the kind of weak, wealthy, privileged, aristocratic tone of the people yelling. This was not a bar This was not a working class environment with people. They wouldn't, in a working class environment in the United States of America, if indeed the whole bar wanted someone out, there would be some physical altercation. I'm not praising physical altercation, but it would not be pretty. And it would be yelling, and the force behind the screaming and the banter would not be this bougie, Nazis not welcome! Nazis not welcome! And these people have done nothing to combat the genocidal ideology of Hitler and the Nazis. They've done nothing. The privileged, wealthy, Ivy League, cowardly, probably never got into a fight in their lives. Pseudo-intellectual, left-leaning, self-described socialist, but ordering a $17 martini, infused with pomegranate essence, whatever. These people are the biggest hypocrites and the reason why the left sucks. And they're the reason also why Kanye West is so awesome. If Kanye West is, and first of all, this is not a recent thing. He's had a picture with Trump, a meeting with Trump at Trump Tower, I believe, photos with Trump. And so there is an intellectual reason to support President Trump. I am not someone who follows the herd. I'm not Kanye West. He's like brilliant and, has created an empire. I'm just one person on YouTube, or a writer, a journalist, people, and please, by the way, share my article in the Daily Caller. Free Julian Assange. Share that everywhere, please. Share that all throughout Facebook. If you're on Facebook today, please go ahead and do that. But I am not going to just follow the herd, because the herd leads you off a cliff. And I'm not doing it not to follow the herd. If I truly believed the herd was right, then I would follow the herd. But unfortunately, masses of people that are influenced by CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, all saying one thing while ignoring the realities of what would undermine their argument, that's dangerous. In 2015, I stated in The Hill, the Huffington Post Salon, that Clinton would lose. I was then met with hit pieces. I'm still met with hit pieces. There's one guy at the Daily Banter who's like infatuated with me. He doesn't stop writing about me. He doesn't stop. The Daily Banter does not stop writing about me. I didn't even want to read, I didn't even want to use that name to give them publicity, probably more publicity than I've received the past month or year. But they for literally 7 to 8 hit pieces on me. And then there's Raw Story, there's Wonket, there's the Daily Beast, there's a whole bunch of other online or Reddit or whatever. Why? Because I said that Clinton would lose, and she did. And when I was on the left, I was like, hey, you know what? Bernie is the only chance that you have. They're like, no. Then Bernie acquiesced, and he didn't fight for the $200 million that was stolen from his voters. And that was like a wound inside me. I just, you know what? Don't say anything. I just, I don't want to. Hey, there must have been some reason. Must have been some reason. And then slowly but surely, I'm saying, wait a second. Bernie is also promoting the Russia myth. What is this? This is crazy. This is the same thing they accused him of, honeymooning in Moscow. So then slowly, I'm like, wait a second. Steel tariffs are actually a pretty smart idea. But forget about steel tariffs. Peace with Kim Jong-un or denuclearization in North Korea. This is an amazing thing. Meeting with Kim Jong-un. This is unbelievable. Still being less hawkish than Clinton. Yes, I'm definitely opposed to what Trump did. But it's 1/10 of what Clinton would have done and what Democrats want. Democrats were attacking him for not being forceful enough. And before that, he openly stated he wanted to bring home soldiers. The big grandiose issues, Trump is on the right side of history. Foreign policy, he's on the right side of history. When you compare it to what Democrats would do, sure, droning and Yemen and we should be out of Yemen, but guess who got us into Yemen? Guess who got us into Syria? Nobel Prize winner Barack Obama, President Obama. And let's not talk about Jim Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, corrupt FBI officials. Who's taking them on? Trump. Who's taking them on? Trump. The Russian hacking myth. So my books are below, debunking the Trump-Russia myth, but her top secret emails. I don't usually say this because it's kind of tacky, but it's a prophetic book. It's everything that's taking place now If you read But Her Top Secret Emails on Amazon, the link is below in the pinned comment and also in the description section. Still doing well. Book 5 is eventually going to happen. But all the books, but her deleted emails, talks about exactly. I was speaking about Dado Inc., and you know this, Dado Inc. and Platte River forever, even before I wrote those books. But her deleted emails gets right into it. But see, you, me, the average Trump voter who is like knows mostly Democrats, or the Trump voter who is just surrounded by Democrats. So Kanye West is pretty much surrounded by rabid, frothing at the mouth Democrats, not progressives. Like Hollywood is a neoliberal or Democratic Party. Doesn't matter if Obama destroyed Libya. Doesn't matter if Hillary Clinton called black youth super predators. But dang it, they're so much more righteous and better and morally superior to Trump. You will never get Jimmy Kimmel to talk about Obama and Syria and Yemen and Libya. You will because he doesn't know or he doesn't care. He's probably a combination of both. Definitely doesn't care. Probably doesn't know much about it. Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel, Bill Maher still thinks that the Trump Jr. meeting is an example of treason. Mueller hasn't even interviewed Natalia Veselnitskaya, hasn't interviewed Julian Assange. So they're accusing WikiLeaks of working with Russia. Why? Because they published information that exposed corruption. So the mere fact that corruption was exposed means that because it helped Trump, it was a plot by Russia to help Trump. The intelligence community, 3 agencies run by very corrupt people: John Brennan, CIA, James Comey, the FBI. The Admiral Rogers is not corrupt, but the NSA is only moderately confident. So they're highly to moderately confident. Nobody's certain, and the intelligence community did not say that Russia interfered or hacked the election. They said they assess. There's zero evidence that one vote was changed because of a stupid Facebook ad. But the point, getting back to Kanye West, is there's a brilliance in rattling the hornet's nest. Not just for performance art, but to get people to think. There's a brilliance in breaking a paradigm of thought. There's a brilliance in taking something out of nothing. And whether it's musically or in terms of politics or in terms of this dogma, that there are people, like I'll debate, like one of my friends, he's like, no. He's like, this is a great guy, great person, really wonderful human being that I grew up with. Okay, so he's like, libertarians are racist. I'm like, why? Why are they racist? Well, because of this or that. And it's like this dogma, this ideology. But libertarians are actually, there's nothing actually inherently racist about the libertarians at all. There's actually, if anything, they want everyone to just be left alone by the government. People of all backgrounds. They don't want, unwarranted search and seizures. They don't want censorship. They don't want marijuana legalization. Libertarians are for. They don't want people of all backgrounds to die in never-ending wars overseas. They don't want an overreaching, totalitarian prison system. Who on the right and left talking about prison reform? Well, it was Rand Paul. And he actually worked with Cory Booker. Then you get the people who are like, left and right can't work together. The left is crumbling, and it's losing. It's like I call it the French Revolution of liberal politics. The people who impose and attack others with the indignation and the condemnation are now themselves being condemned, being attacked by the same paradigm of thought, by the same groupthink, by the same propaganda that they've leveled upon others. Joy Reid is an example. Joy Reid now not only has not addressed the homophobic and anti-gay posts that she published, but guess what? They're hackers, and she's actually doubling down. They weren't hackers. There's no evidence of that. It's almost certainly she wrote the hateful statements. She has to live with them now. Anyway, Kanye West supports Trump, and he's openly supporting Trump. And I can go through the tweets right now, but if you go to his Twitter, you can see a whole bunch of tweets, and it's awesome. It's awesome because it's awesome because he's still himself, but he likes Trump. It's not like and then he tweeted a photo. This is President Trump. Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. So it's not like, and then Make America Great Again. My Maga hat is signed, and then he's wearing the Make America Great Again hat in a photo. So it's like, that was symbolic with a caricature of Trump that the left created that wasn't who he is. And now, like, the hate for that hat. And now, because it was the Pepe frog, and don't you know it emboldened. See, they use these words because they have to make these grandiose leaps of logic. Well, Trump, he's not racist. Maybe not. Maybe him and Clinton are the same, but he emboldens the racists. He sympathizes with the racists. He's a racist emboldened sympathizer. All these euphemisms, because there is no logical train of thought. They have to make these grandiose leaps with their euphemisms. The left is completely crumbling. The Democratic Party is crumbling, and they don't see it, and they're grasping and clawing on to power. They're not even going to get the House. I'm on record as saying they might. They're definitely not going to get the Senate. I'm on record as saying they won't get the House or the Senate. And if they don't get the House or the Senate in November with everything going on, and it's a question mark as to whether Joy Reid will even be on MSNBC, because the anti-gay blog posts, like, maybe she didn't write them, but it is not going away. You cannot sit on a pedestal and judge others and call others irredeemable and deplorable while at the same time engaging in acts that you would destroy the careers of others if they engaged in. I don't know if I said that correctly, but you know what I mean. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Kanye West supporting Trump is just fantastic. And it's everything you need to know about what's taking place in American politics. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. And please share my segment. Or share my article, Free Julian Assange, in the Daily Caller. Thank you so much. And hit subscribe right now to this YouTube channel.